So do you guys have a name for your other self? And if you do, can you share what that is? Mikey, what do you, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm really happy you asked that question, like about this stuff, because I don't think I've ever talked about it. I'm coming from, as said, or Fat Boy Fresh said, I'm coming from a place of like athletics, right? And competing and always being in sports. I played everything. And I think, looking back on it now, I've always been given nicknames, and that's kind of what I adopted and harnessed as I went through my sport. But I think it was only just that. It was just a nickname, and I never really embodied it until I realized that. And this is like, when I read this part of the book, just like kind of got me, and I like lost my breath, and you get the goosebumps and everything, because he talks about your other self. I had no idea what the hell this was when I was younger. I didn't understand. I mean, I guess inherently I had something, but I didn't get it. I never read the book. It obviously wasn't out until 2011. I'm old, so I couldn't have read it. But I realized that everybody else can give a nickname or a persona, but it had to come from me. And everybody in my life always called me Mikey, right? I've always been Mikey when I was little, when I grew up, whatever. But when I realized I had to look inside, I changed it to Mikey, my key, Mykey, because I knew that I had the key. It had nobody else had that for me, right? It was me. So when I changed up in my head, I didn't change from Mikey to, beast mode man, right? Like, and I'm not downplaying, anything, but I just needed to change that one letter, because that one thing inside of me made me black out when the gun went off. It made me dig deeper than I ever have when I'm running the hills or whatever I was doing in training. And then it just parlays over into my professional world, right? I'm getting ready for a big presentation. I'm going up to the board and trying to present something. I'm the youngest guy there, right? Like, what am I going to do? I just got to change one little thing. And that's that little voice in your head, that other self, right? Just click into it. It doesn't take much.
Awesome. We appreciate you sharing that. I'm interested in, with Mikey, what was Mikey's fear that Mikey conquered?
You know what? That's another good one. I think it was always like, I've always been someone who always needed to be liked, had to be, right? And I don't know where that came from. I'm a softer guy naturally. I'm emotional. I'm like that type of person. So if anybody felt a certain type of way against me, I never liked it. I always wanted to be the guy who everybody loved to be around. I never wanted to, push too much or anything like that. And that could be, it's a gift and a curse, right? It's a gift because you're always trying to give and you're always trying to serve others. And that's truly what makes me the happiest in the world. But at the same point, like, to Cedric's, like what he was saying, like, you gotta be the aggressor in most situations, right? So in relationships, you gotta take control or else it's gonna fail miserably. In business, in sales, I'm a sales guy, right? If you don't control the process, you're gonna everyone's gonna like you, but everyone's gonna say no. Like, you have to control that in sports and everything. So I think the short answer is, getting over the fact that no, you're not gonna have everybody love you, and that's okay. Right. You know who you are and be comfortable with that. Not to say that I didn't have confidence growing up, but I think it was just, I needed a little bit more edge to me, and I think Mikey, or the Mikey, that gives me a little bit more edge, and it gives me enough to get on a call on a video and put something. I'm not a social media guy, but I'm starting. And like, that's very weird because I've already gotten the, hey, I'll be the fifth horseman, right? Like, just that type of, and I'm like, cool. Like, you will be where I keep following, so, I think that was the biggest thing for me personally.